Residents shot Trademore Estate, protest plant demolition. Maiduguri residents lament Boko Haram attack in Dambuwa that left 6 persons killed, several others injured. 13 Nigerian pilgrims died in the course of the 2023 Hajj in Saudi Arabia. On the foreign scene, fighting reignites between Sudan Army and RSF in Khartoum. Hello and welcome to the news update on Trust TV. I am Ayuba Ida. Thanks for joining. Now the details. Residents of Trademore Estate in Abuja on Monday shut its gates in protest against the planned demolition of structures in the estate by officials of the Federal Capital Development Authority. Permanent Secretary of the FCTA, Olushade Adeshola, had declared the Trademore area a disaster zone that was in need of immediate remedial action to stop further damages and loss of lives and property. This comes after flash floods which submerged houses and vehicles in the estate about a week ago. Although no life was lost, the chairman of the Residents Association, Adewale Adenaike, said that inhabitants were worried that the flash floods had become an annual occurrence within the estate. The Federal Emergency Management Agency said more than 116 houses were submerged at the estate following a heavy downpour. Residents of Maiduguri have condemned the recent attack by Boko Haram insurgents in Dambuwa local government area, where 6 persons were killed and some others were injured. The attack, which according to residents has not happened in the past 2 years, will ignite fears among people. The residents called on government to redouble efforts in tackling insecurity in the state.
Truly concerned that attack that happened in Dambuwa. Seriously, we are not happy about it. See how people have been losing their life, being killed every daily, and the government of Nigeria is not taking the right action about it. Please, the government of Nigeria, we are pleading with the government of, we are pleading with Tinubu, we are pleading with our governor, His Excellency Governor Zulum. Please, they should take action about it.
To take care of what is happening in Dambuwa. It's not only Dambuwa, it's been happening in some local government. Please, we need our governor at least to help us with security, to rescue what is happening in Dambuwa in other local governments.
This insurgency is still contributing to the lack of marketing, because we are having good coming to us from Dambuwa, having good coming to us from Goza. Is still contributing to all this. All we hope for and all we are praying for, we are all praying for good government, still praying for good citizens, we are still praying for good Nigeria at large.
A student of the University of Benin, Francis Anyode, 23, has drowned in Ekosodin River, located in Ekosodin community near the Ugbowo campus of the institution. 2 students, Samson Kennedy, a 200-level student of biochemistry, and Wilfred Emmanuel, a 500-level student of optometry, who invited the deceased to the river, have been arrested in connection with the incident. The duo were also said to be neighbors with the deceased, were alleged to have on June 29 invited him to Ekosodin River for a swim, where he allegedly drowned. The duo had sought the help of the Ekosodin community and vigilante in rescuing the deceased, but he is said to have died before help could come his way. The incident was reported at BDPA Ugbowo police station by the vigilante, and the 2 students were arrested when blood was discovered on the victim's lips and peeled skin around his neck region. Edo State Command's spokesperson, SP Chidi Wabuzo, said that the duo were arrested to help the police in investigating the circumstances behind the death. 2 fishermen from Sao Tome and Principe, Antonio Sabino and Osorio Pires, who were lost in the Atlantic Ocean for 5 days, have been rescued in Brass Council area of Bayelsa State, Nigeria. The fishermen, who speak Portuguese, were said to have been rescued by a trawler fishing in the Gulf of Guinea and handed over to fishermen from Okpoma Brass who took them ashore on Sunday. Locals in Okpoma told Daily Trust that the rescued fishermen have been handed over to the divisional police officer in Okpoma, CSP Ebemi Shaiga Bebetu. Now, chairman of the Okpoma Kingdom Security Committee, Munailefa William Sinte, explained that the highly malnourished men were clothed and fed before they were handed over to the police for necessary action. Confirming the incident, police spokesman in Bayelsa State, SP Asinim Butswat, said that the police authorities have established contact with a Coast Guard officer from Sao Tome and Principe and are making concerted efforts to reunite the rescued fishermen with their families. Katsina State Police Command has drafted its operatives at various locations across the insecurity frontline local government areas of the state to respond effectively in the event of bandits' attack. Abdullahi Amadi speaks with the Police Command Public Relations Officer in Katsina.
On the 26th of June 2023 at about 11:00 hours, which is 11 a.m., the command received a report of activities of some suspected terrorist bandits armed with dangerous weapons such as general purpose machine guns, AK-47 rifles, shooting sporadically attacked a village called Ruwan Dorawa village in the Dutsamma local government area of the state. Upon receipt of the report, immediately the area commander Dutsamma alongside the DPO Dutsamma division led a team of operatives to the scene. Upon sighting the operatives, immediately the terrorist bandits engaged them in a fierce gun duel, to which the operatives responded bravely and succeeded in foiling the attack and neutralizing one of the suspected terrorist bandits, and as well recover a general purpose machine gun with 58 rounds of 7.62 by 51 mm live ammunition. Similarly, on the 27th of June 2023 at about 14:00 hours, which is equivalent to 2 p.m., the area commander Dutsamma, while on routine patrol, intercepted a number of terrorist bandits armed with AK-47 rifles, and immediately the terrorists opened fire on the police patrol team, and the operatives responded valiantly, which forced the terrorists to abandon their evil plan and flee into the nearby bushes. While combing the scene, the bodies of 2 neutralized suspected terrorist bandits as well as 1 AK-47 rifle were recovered.
Farmers in Benue State want government's intervention to boost agricultural production in the state. They fear that if something is not done fast, there may be low yields from the farms this year. The report.
The Benue farmers who predominantly depend on the rain-fed agricultural practices fear that the cost of agrochemicals and fertilizer is not good for the economy of the state.
For quite a number of years now, government has completely removed her hands on the issue of fertilizer. Before, we were getting some subsidy from our state government. So we were paying like 3,000 to 4,000 naira on a bag of fertilizer. Government will pay the rest. But for 3 years back, farmers are paying everything. A bag of urea is 22,000 naira. A bag of NPK, the one that is good, is 23,000 naira. How much do farmers get to be able to afford these things? So these are the challenges, amongst others, that we're facing.
The farmers said they will continue to explore manual methods, but that will not take agriculture anywhere near what it ought to be. We thank God for the grace to carry on. It is unfortunate that our government is silent in assisting farmers in the state. We will continue to do our best, even though it is not easy. The farmers urge the state government to step in immediately with subsidy initiative for the farmers.
So with a little support, if the governor can support farmers by way of inputs, if we talk of mechanization, it is not something that can be done in 2-3 months. But she assists us in getting some chemicals, assist us in getting some of these agro fertilizers and whatever. You have finished with Benue farmers. Many of them are strong enough, they can even use their hoe to perform wonders. And that is what we have been doing. We are feeding this nation with hoes, not machinery. How many people have tractors in Benue? Very few of them. And the ones that they have, they take them to Taraba, where they commercialize them. We are using hoes and we are doing our best. So with little support from government, this is the season. This is the farming season. So if the government can now say fertilizer subsidy, seeds subsidy, some of these agrochemical subsidy, by November you will see what will happen in Benue.
Hyacinth Alia, the Benue State Governor, has stated at different fora that his administration will focus on agricultural production to uplift the economy of the state. The farmers on their part said they are waiting for interventions as soon as possible to carry on. Jimmy Azande, Trust TV News, Makurdi.
As the country struggles with the impact of the economic policies of the Tinubu administration, the question being asked is how the Nigerian citizen will not be overwhelmed by the hardship that is accompanying implementation of the measures. Experts believe that the new administration should resist being dictated to by the International Monetary Fund, World Bank, and the Western financial institutions. Kendi Amodu reports.
Both President Bola Tinubu and Vice President Kashim Shettima embarked on shuttle diplomacy to whip up support for government policies during the Salah holidays. It's early days yet, so many people are still willing to give them the benefit of doubt. They face a huge task, compounded by the fact that in the last 40 years, there's been a drastic reduction in the funding of public housing, public education, and public health institutions.
Who told them to do so? IMF. It has removed money from funding public education. Who told them from doing so? If you go to hospital, even public hospitals have been privatized and outsourced to individuals. So when you go to hospitals, you no longer get drugs free. You must pay for them if you are not in health NHIS. Even the NHIS, there are certain kinds of ailments that you have that it does not cover. So attack on your public resources is as a result of privatization and commercialization. And that is why I told you that whether it's Obasanjo, whether it's all of them read from the same textbook. The IMF is their God that they worship.
Nigeria has consistently not met up with budgetary recommendations by the UN in these crucial sectors. This, experts believe, is why the removal of subsidy and the unified foreign exchange policy is having a huge impact on the ordinary Nigerian.
Where we come from, that the state has responsibility to its citizens because the resources of the country belongs to all its citizens. But the same citizens who fought us when we were fighting privatization does not know that the implication of privatization is that they will pay more and that it will impose a lot of attack on their personal resources. They didn't know. So when we were fighting privatization, when we were fighting IMF, World Bank, and its instructions to our leaders, the people who today are now talking hardship were the ones who were telling us that we should allow the government to do it. So what has...
The remedy is to find a balance between demands from international finance institutions and the welfare of the people.
If you want a break, massive push into funding of public education. The public education has capacity to suck up majority of your citizens and give them education. And when they have proper education, they have a capacity to create wealth for themselves. That's basic. If you intervene in the health sector, if you fund public health, the resources that citizens spend on health can be diverted to improving their lives in another way. If you remove the harsh subsidies and cost of electricity right now, majority of the citizens can invest in cottage issues that can drive the local economy.
The delicate economic situation Nigeria finds itself in may mean tough decisions may have to be taken to bring things under a semblance of normalcy. The people, as usual, will bear the brunt of these decisions, and since a large percentage are already experiencing hardship, the new government must find a balance that would not alienate the people. Kehinde Amodu, Trust TV News, Abuja.
Now, Governor Umaru Bago of Niger State has dissolved the State Independent Electoral Commission. A statement issued by the Secretary to the State Government, Abubakar Usman, in Mina on Sunday, directed members of the Commission to hand over all property of the State Government in their possession to the most senior director. The Niger State House of Assembly had on September 27, 2022, sacked the chairman of the state electoral body, Baba Amidu, over alleged misconduct. The Joint Admissions and Matriculation Board says it will prosecute Ejikeme Mesoma, a 2023 Unified Tertiary Matriculation Examination candidate from Anambra State, for manipulating her result in this year's examination. The board, in a statement on Sunday signed by its spokesman, Fabian Benjamin, accused Ejikeme Joy Mesoma of actually scoring 249 points instead of the 362 marks she claimed JAMB concluded that JAMB concluded that Mesoma manipulated her UTME result to deceive the public, to fraudulently obtain scholarship and other recognitions. JAMB also said that the original result of Mesoma would be withdrawn, stating that many candidates were parading fake results, having used some funny software packages. Already, the candidate was said to have been awarded a 3 million naira scholarship by the founder of Innocent Motors, Innocent Chukuma. JAMB commended Chukuma and encouraged other Nigerians who desired to invest in the future of genuine youngsters to always ensure that they get the authentic results from the board as done by the Anambra State Ministry of Education. You're watching the news updates on Trust TV. Coming up shortly, we'll take a look at measures to tackle high prevalence of malnutrition. Details and more after the break. Welcome back. You're watching the news update on Trust TV. Here's a recap of our top stories. Residents shot Trademore Estate protest planned demolition. Maiduguri residents lament Boko Haram attack in Damboa that left 6 persons killed, several others injured. Now moving on, malnutrition prevalence is high in Sokoto State, with over 50,000 children set to be treated in May this year. In this report, Abubakar Imam examines what is responsible for the cases and what can be done to address the problem.
One of the reasons for many broken homes in Nigeria is the inability of the heads of such families to provide food for their households. This also has a consequential effect on the growth of their children, with every tendency of affecting their moral upbringing, as they could engage in all sorts of things to get something to eat. According to the United Nations International Children's Fund, Nigeria has the second highest burden of stunted children in the world, with a national prevalence rate of 32% of children under 5. UNICEF added that about 2 million children in Nigeria suffer from severe acute malnutrition, but only 2 out of every 10 children affected is currently reached with treatment. The report added that 7% of women of childbearing age also suffer from acute malnutrition. Sokoto is one of the states worst hit by the disease. The nutrition specialist of UNICEF in Sokoto Field Office, Abraham Mahama, said as at May 2023, Over 50,000 severely malnourished children were admitted in various health facilities being supported by UNICEF in the states.
Yeah, so when we look at the available data that we have from the admissions that we have been collating from the various health facilities that we support to implement the integrated management of acute malnutrition, we have, as at May, we have been able to admit well about 50,000 children for us to be able to treat in the outpatient care, outpatient treatment program sites.
Trust TV visits one of the facilities at Gagi community in Sokoto North local government area of the state. During the visit, mothers are seen bringing their stunted children for treatment and counseling. The country director of UNICEF, Christian Maduete, who paid an assessment visit to the facility, speaks more on the danger of malnutrition.
Keep some children alive because they're so weak. They are so thin. And it's not just because they're thin, it's because at this age, if they have these complications, their internal organs are affected and their brains do not develop, right? So this is not for the moment, this is a life, this goes through life. If a child is not well breastfed and after 6 months, the additional food by then they can eat. If they don't receive this, they will be in a way handicapped forever.
Mr. Mahama, however, identifies some of the factors responsible for the disease, which he said need to be addressed in order to have a healthy nation.
The most fundamental of it all is about hunger. So there's a lot of hunger out there. Children are not able to get the required food that they are supposed to eat to be able to get the food nutrients that would enable them grow well.
The district head of Gagi, Alhaji Umar Sani Jebbi, commended the agency for supporting the facility in the areas of immunization, malnutrition, toilet facilities, and the provision of modern hand-washing equipment, as well as standard borehole.
Less privileged children that are dying because of many things that are preventable, but we are losing many lives every day. A lot of serious support for immunization to prevent child from paralyzing, from death, from many complications. So,
according to the Walter Duranty, an Anglo-American journalist in the 30s, there is no actual starvation or deaths from starvation, but there is widespread mortality from diseases due to malnutrition. Abubakar Awal Imam reporting for Trust TV.
National Hajj Commission of Nigeria has said 13 Nigerian pilgrims have died in the course of the 2023 Hajj in Saudi Arabia. The leader of the NACA medical team, Dr. Usman Galadima, said this in Makkah on Sunday during a post-Arafat meeting. Dr. Galadima said 7 pilgrims died before Mashair, while 6 others died during the Mashair. According to him, Oshun and Kaduna states recorded 2 fatalities each, while Plateau, Kaduna, Borno, Yobe, Lagos and Benue recorded 1 each. Furthermore, private tour operators recorded 3 casualties. He noted that the pilgrims should be encouraged to use the Jamarat train services and that there should be thorough pre-Hajj medical screening with the issuance of a certificate of medical fitness. Dr. Galadima also disclosed that the team detected 3 cases of chickenpox among Nigerian pilgrims during Mashair, and they have been referred to Saudi hospitals for treatment. The team also had 5 psychiatric cases, 7 heat strokes, 12 severe malaria, and 7 cases of diabetes emergencies. All right, now on the foreign scene, fierce fighting between the Sudanese army and the paramilitary rapid support forces shook the capital, Khartoum, as disease and malnutrition threatened the rising number of displaced people. Reports say that the fighting started in the early hours of Sunday in the northern part of the city. Airstrikes were launched in northern parts of the capital and heavy artillery was used in the city's east. The RSF said it downed a Sudanese army fighter jet in the city of Bari. Battles since April 15 between forces loyal to Army Chief Abdel Fattah al-Burhan and the RSF have killed nearly 3,000 people. Another 2.2 million people have been forced from their homes inside the country, with almost 645,000 fleeing across borders for safety, according to the International Organization for Migration. The UN said 25 million people in Sudan need humanitarian aid and protection. And that's a wrap for the news update. You can watch more via all our social media platforms and also on our YouTube live stream. I am Ayuba Ila. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.